Hey everyone, how's it going? Before we start today's episode of Dude Soup, we do have a few things to go over. One, the episode got real. It got real. Am I wrong?
Good. Yeah,
we talked about some, we were supposed to talk about spooky stuff, but then we ended up talking about real life horrors. But then we ended with some nice candle conversations. So just keep that in mind going into it. And also, somebody here has something to say. Who is
Hi,
that?
everyone.
Is it Alanah?
Yeah, I don't know. I really thought that hard about how this would happen, but I am leaving Rooster Teeth. Yep. This is a thing that happened in timing that I feel is very unfortunate. Like, I'm very excited about a lot of the stuff that the team is working on right now. But I basically have an opportunity in front of me that I just couldn't possibly say no to. It just is impossible. I think you guys know what it is. And I feel like when I'm allowed to talk about it publicly, everyone else will also be like, oh, I get why this has happened. It's certainly not a leaving Funhaus because Funhaus sucks situation under any circumstances. It's just something I couldn't decline.
Well, the two don't have to be mutually exclusive.
And
Funhaus can still suck.
It's definitely not that.
Why she's leaving.
No, unrelated actually. I like that it sucks. So personally, that I prefer that. So I'll be able to give more details sometime next month. I can't talk about that just yet, but yeah, I don't have any plans to actually leave the Funhaus family. We have some cool stuff planned for content that I will continue to be in and continue to be a guest on stuff. So it'll just, I guess, just be less ultimately, and I'm very sad to leave. While also very excited, and I love everyone, and I guess I also just wanted to say, like, the Funhaus community is, I don't even know if you guys noticed this, but I, coming from IGN, certainly did, is so supportive in a way that a lot of other communities are not. Like, anytime they get a hint of people being overworked, they're like, I hope you guys are okay. We really appreciate you putting in this work. Whereas, like, at IGN, they were like, why have you done the work yet? So it's just, the Funhaus community can be really wonderful. And I've always felt like I'm a very sleepy person. I always have a giant coffee in every video. And I know that is like a weird energy to have on a comedy channel. And everyone's always just been really supportive of me for it. So thank you to the Funhaus community for accepting.
And I think they should continue to do so now, because I know that they don't know what it is for a few reasons. But they should be proud. I can tell you with confidence to our community that you should feel proud, even though you don't know.
Hopefully they'll know soon. So yeah.
And as not Alanah, I would just like to say, what the future holds for Alanah is the coolest shit ever. It's like, yeah.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I don't even know how to. No spoilers.
Nailed it. You really nailed that. Yeah, I'm excited, but it's been really lovely being a part of this family. And I mean, we have some stuff we can talk about, like favorite game series. We have every intention of continuing, have some more of that stuff recorded. So that's not going to disappear, which is a thing that, obviously I've been doing every episode of that with Ryan. And then we now have the Spookums, which probably Elise you could speak to a little bit more.
Team Spookums, just some of the scaredy cats in the office that like playing all those frightful, fearful games. Keep playing.
Some of us here, yeah.
We have a name now. It's Team Spookums.
Very scary.
Yeah, we'll keep doing those.
Kicking it
Wait,
off
is
with
it
this
Team
podcast.
Spookums or just Spookums?
Could be either, really. You're right. It is in tone
interchangeable.
with this whole podcast.
Yeah.
We terrified ourselves accidentally.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Alanah.
Yeah, plenty to look forward to still. And
Yeah, Fallout 76.
Do I have to give my official goodbye to you right now? Like, oh, it's been so great having you. Blah, blah, blah.
It's up to you, man.
Is
I
that-
can't. It's not, if you want,
well, then what are you
I
going to
can't
say
make you do
next
that.
time what are you going to say to her next time you see her when we're recording something? You're just like, remember when I said goodbye to you and now you're here again?
It's hard because like I don't want it to feel like a goodbye, because hopefully we do have you guest in a bunch of stuff, going forward, and people are going to see you in the content like that you've described. But you've done a lot for this channel, and everybody I know feels grateful to you. And you will be missed in everything. on the regular.
This is a stupidly fun job.
Wait to watch you as a new host of The Price is Right.
Oh
shit. I'm sorry.
John, what did you clap at?
Oh, he was trying to get the video out. That was a tail sync. He was like,
no, it was when you were saying, I know everyone is so happy with what I went like this, and then I made myself laugh, and so I did a laugh clap.
You clapped for yourself. Excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's kind of it. If anyone has any questions, like I can be as candid as anyone would like. We can keep talking about it. But ultimately, like, I'm leaving Rooster Teeth as a company, not making any content with Inside Gaming anymore, but have every intention of continuing to appear on Funhaus where possible, and just in a different kind of way. It's basically the plan. So
I think if you want to just keep saying cryptically cool things about what you'll be doing, that will make John and everyone else envious.
Yes. When I start hosting Good Morning America, in a couple of weeks, you'll see. They're making me do an American accent the whole time. It's going to be really strange, but everyone's really excited for me as huge fans of that program. So,
well, I was curious because I know here on Discord we kind of have latency. What's the latency going to be like in space?
Yeah, it's been, the asthma is more of a problem for them than the space latency as the world's first streamer from space. That's, we've had to talk about that a bit, but I'm really grateful for the sponsorship from the ISS, and I really can't wait to work with them.
And when they spin the wheel, does it go faster or slower because of the gravity?
Well, because I'm Australian, I have to spin it backwards as well.
Oh,
so that
I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
And
yes.
Yes, Elise.
I know you love animals, but that many animals?
What?
Ace Ventura?
Are you a pet detective now?
All right. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome to Dude Soup, or more accurately, Lady Broth. That's right, it's all ladies today. Today we will be discussing spooks, the season, and whatever else, while Alanah plays Watch Dogs Legion. That game's not out yet. But why are we going to be playing Watch Dogs Legions when it's Halloween? Why? Because there's nothing scarier than technology. How was that?
Oh, God.
Kind of did some improv there.
Excuse me, is Lady Broth in a can or a box? I just need to know.
It's definitely a box.
Yeah, I agree, box. It's box for sure.
Cool.
How y'all doing
Both are
today?
environmentally
I'm John Smith. Are here with Elise, Alanah, and Lindsay in their respective corners.
And we will stay in our corners.
The game just spoke to me out loud, and I didn't expect that. It just said,
What
warning.
did it say?
The DLC is not available. Spoken language reset to default, and I didn't expect that. Anyway, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How's everyone's Tuesday going?
Menu narration.
It's Tuesday?
Is it?
Oh, it's Tuesday. That's right. Okay.
Oh wait, yeah.
That's how it's going, I guess.
Yeah, pretty good. It's like I'm wearing a hoodie. I see you guys are wearing long sleeve shirts now. We're finally getting a little bit chillier, which I don't know. I'm like sort of happy about. No, I'll be miserable about it by December, but for now I'm like, ooh,
same.
variety.
It got cold real fast in LA.
It did.
But it's gonna
chilly
be
last
hot this
night.
weekend. I was like, yes, the cold is finally here. And then I looked at like the week's broadcast of weather, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Agreed. But I mean, I prefer like everyone in the comments is gonna be like, LA's not cold. Remember,
Yeah.
you get acclimatized, so it becomes
Yes.
comparatively cold to what you're used to.
It got
At least
down
it's
to
from
like
the snow. She's
85
saying it's
last
cold.
night.
Yeah. I feel like when I first started coming out to LA a lot, I was like, oh, it's quite nice here. Like, I don't understand why people are wearing winter jackets. But no, it gets cold. It gets cold and you get used to it feeling cold.
Yeah, that's how your
was-
body regulates temperatures and knows how to acclimatize to what you live in.
And hey, it was 54 last night, so that's a chilly by definition.
At least, what does that
least.
mean? What does 54 mean?
In Celsius?
Yeah.
I don't know the conversion. I know how each temperature feels, but I don't know
What
the
they actually
conversion.
are. Okay.
Yeah.
I should be able to look that up. What's 54?
I'm gonna say 215 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right.
Alanah, okay,
bold
so
guess.
we know 0 is 32.
Yes. For some stupid reason.
Elise,
So 50,
Oh, 12
Real
degrees.
quick.
That is pretty chilly.
sorry, I'm just reading the chat here, and they're saying that your We're not getting your audio.
No.
Oh yeah.
Don't
we
worry
just
about
fixed
that,
it.
Lindsay. It's all
Oh,
been
you
solved.
did?
in
Oh,
Discord.
golly. I'm way behind.
Pulling
I'm
back
too
the
behind.
curtain. Listen.
Oh, my God. I'm too behind.
Today we'll be talking about fall things like Halloween and fall.
London.
And Celsius to Fahrenheit
And
conversion.
Celsius
Did we
to
get
Fahrenheit
that?
Conversions. So, I mean, I feel like we kind of just led into, speaking of the season, so I was just curious if y'all had any, maybe if you love this season, if you hate it, if you like seeing those leaves change colors, what you like about this season, if you got any traditions, if you got any feelings or fears or memories or really anything.
Is it about 12? Is that about 12 degrees?
Yes, about 12 degrees, yeah.
Am I muted?
It's about 54 degrees.
No, John.
That's the third time.
This is
John
Lady
asked
Bra.
that today. No, I do. I love this season. I feel like for the first time this year, I feel like I'm like looking forward to something.
Lindsay,
And
I
I
feel
don't know
like
if that's just the weather or like the holidays.
Lindsay, I feel
or
like
what,
you might
but-
be one of those people that has boxes with decorations for every season, and whenever the next season comes, you pull those boxes out of your closet and you redecorate your apartment or home.
I did that when I was in my early 20s and maybe like mid 20s. I haven't done that. I do Christmas. Put the tree up. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought it froze. Put the tree up and it's light decoration, mostly just the tree.
Okay.
But for all the other holidays, I just like, who got the time for that?
Who got the time for that?
Who got the time? I got
friend
games
Mikey's
to
mom
play
does.
and Trulies to drink. Yeah, well, moms do that.
Yeah.
Blaine's
But
mom
if
has
I had
these,
like a big house,
porcelain-
that would be something to do. Maybe
You'd
Put the
hire
lights
someone to do it,
up,
right?
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I ain't
yeah.
got that. Who's got that?
Blaine's mom has these like porcelain, like massive collections that she would swap out every season. It was incredible.
Like
I
dolls?
have some. I
Huh?
have some of those. I forget what they're called.
Porcelain dolls? Like creepy dolls?
No,
No, not dolls. They're just like decorations. They're I wouldn't really know how to describe them. Like little Santa Clauses or like little
Oh, yeah.
like pumpkins. Oh, that's cool.
Those sound like dolls to me.
Not dolls, John. I specifically said not dolls.
what's that? What are they called?
They're just decorative.
We call it autumn in Australia, and nobody cares. So I have no association with this season at all. But I do love a good beanie weather. Big fan of wearing beanies, so anytime that I get to do that, I'm happy. But otherwise, like, the whole pumpkin spice latte thing is very much... Oh, actual combat?
Nice.
I don't know, I think an American thing, and Halloween's also not a big deal in Australia. So none of that stuff is anything that's
Australia
really
sounds like
celebrated.
it
But I will say,
sucks.
like, my family tends to thanks. My family tends to eat a lot of soup as it starts to get colder, and you know, my stepdad has had like chef training. He never worked as a chef, but is effectively a trained chef, and it means that there's just a lot of incredible food. So
Sounds like me.
I associate
Never
it with
trained,
nice soups.
but master chef.
Well, no, he did train though, John. So that's where you're different.
I'm probably better. I'm probably better cook.
Oh.
Anyways.
What?
please.
Wait a second. What training? What background do you have that you could compare to her stepfather in this?
I've eaten a lot of food.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. Yeah, he doesn't eat that much.
So, I think pumpkin spice is like a newer thing too. Like
Yeah.
last 20 years, maybe.
Oh, definitely.
Like
yeah.
wedding
Oh.
rings.
I would say
Right.
last decade and a half, maybe.
Yeah, that was like, I feel like 2004 or 5 was when Starbucks was like, we've got pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember it being a thing.
I wasn't super into it, and I remember the first time I had one, and I was like, "What? It's so good."
I don't
then-
love pumpkin as a flavor.
I'm
Neither,
not
me
crazy
too.
about them anymore. So again, could have been a thing in my young 20s. I liked holidays. I liked cheer. I liked pumpkin spice lattes. Now I'm a
You're just dead
what's it called?
inside.
Like, get out of my house. That's me now.
So now you're just old. You don't consume any liquid.
No, against it.
I'm Grandma Scrooge. Department 56
Aw.
is the name of the brand of little porcelain figurines that I was thinking of that Alana might also be describing.
And
Might be.
they're-
I could not tell you.
their
I know,
manufacturing
but
this seems like
facility
a
is
risk.
haunted.
Why do
I'll send
gods
you
in
guys
video
a picture
games do
later.
this? Why do they decide that they need to guard an area where they're just facing a blank wall, clearly just designed for me to get all up in their shit?
Are you telling me
is it
video
still
games
alive?
aren't realistic?
I don't know. It's just a thought. Just throwing it out there. Oh, he's coming.
Or
from
it's like their boss told them to watch that
Yeah.
wall. John,
Yeah.
were you
Punished.
going to ask me about the Canadian experience with Autumn?
Actually, I was going to say, Elise, shut up. I'm going to talk about my experience.
Okay, will do.
No, what I was going to say was, Elise, I don't know about you, but one of my annual traditions is to watch Over the Garden Wall, a very autumnal limited series that I know you and I are both big fans of.
I am a huge fan of it, though I will say I did already watch it earlier this year. So I kind of just put on a few episodes in the background recently.
I've never seen this.
Well, there was also
it's
last
so
year.
charming.
Yeah.
Last year we were supposed to. I planned that whole party where we were going to watch it on the autumnal equinox, and then you called and you're like, "Sorry, something came up. I gotta wash my hair." And then I ate 24 pumpkin-shaped cookies alone in my dark apartment.
The irony now being I haven't washed my hair in four or 5 days.
Nice.
It's so dirty. Was gonna wash it the other day, but then stomach cramped up.
Also, if you bleach your hair, you're not supposed to wash it that frequently. That's the truth.
Where
Gotta
you
try
said
not
you were,
to get
you
the
were
oils
walking
through it.
towards the shower and then you went, "Oh."
It's like once a week, you know.
Couldn't
That's good.
possibly shower.
You make it by once a week, you know.
Yeah, it's
Really?
fine.
Is that how
No.
long you go without washing?
I
your
feel like
hair?
I do every 3-4 days.
Oh wow, I'm just so greasy.
I mean, so am I, and it's a problem, but it's
I use
better
dry
for your
shampoo.
hair. So do I. It's better
I
for your
would say
hair to
that-
not.
Once a week, usually is my hair washing. Sometimes twice.
Wow.
I'd never make it that long. Yeah, it'd be
I just
like
put it
all
up.
over my face. True.
I just put
Putting
it
it up is the secret. Yeah, that's what Kim Kardashian does. So
I did wash this Saturday,
Right thing.
so it's Tuesday. So I still got 4 more days.
Oh wow. Oh man, enjoy the weekend.
Look at all that free time she has. There's so much she can do. What do you do with
It's
your hair,
already
John?
up at this point, so it's gonna be washed soon. Lady broth.
Now, Elise.
Kim
Oh,
Kardashian, if I can just say, she just took her family on a private island excursion.
really?
Epstein?
Did they survive?
Yeah. Everybody's really upset on Twitter about it.
Oh,
Why?
why?
They went somewhere
'Cause
where
they
no one else
can't go?
was.
Because they can't
Yeah,
go.
Because they're rich?
Yeah, because they're rich. So she's like, when we had the chance, we did this. So everyone's
God,
pretty.
people are
You
just
always
now-
have the chance. So much more fair.
I thought people. I
Yeah.
thought people always worshipped rich people. Like that's why people love the Kardashians because they're like, oh my god, they can buy
They're two very
anything.
different camps.
Like what
'Cause,
else
like,
is the
people
draw
like-
that the Kardashians have?
It's
What else is
voyeurism.
the what that they have?
Speechless. Like what other
draw.
reason is there for people to like the Kardashians?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't get
I
it,
think
but-
like probably there are a lot of young women who like look up to their lifestyle. So yeah, it is because they're rich. I don't know them as people, but like I literally couldn't tell you any of their personality traits. I don't know, but I imagine they're not all awful people.
You would
you should watch
imagine
the David
I might be.
Letterman
I don't know.
episode. It's the new season that he just put out, and the first one is Kim Kardashian. And I actually watched it, and she talked about how she was mugged at like gunpoint
yeah.
in France, and I didn't know that, and it was like,
See, that was really fucked up
terrifying.
because
Yeah,
people were
it was
happy
really
about
fucked
it.
up.
People were
Yeah.
Oh, really?
that's even more fucked up.
yeah, everyone just laughed about it, and you're like, that's not. None of this is cool. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
And
die.
in this
What have I
interview,
done?
she goes into detail, kind of like what she went through a little bit, and she gets emotional.
Oh, I
and
haven't
like,
done.
I felt for her. I was like, oh my god, it's like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
terrifying.
harrowing.
I wouldn't
Super
wish that
traumatic.
on anybody.
Okay. I didn't realize
Man.
that
You
I
guys
had
should
pulled
watch
that
that.
gun out,
Crazy.
and now
I take back anything
okay.
bad I've ever said about Kim Kardashian.
because she got mugged. Well, that doesn't work that way. You can
answer
be a
your
bigot
question-
and still get mugged.
Yeah, you could still not care for her, and also simultaneously do not wish a
Have
mugging
empathy.
upon her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like people
to
made
answer-
Halloween costumes out of it and stuff. Like,
Oh,
she was-
really?
yeah, she was very much mocked for it, which was
fucked up.
pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, that is messed up. But to answer your question, John, I
Ah.
do like Halloween.
Oh, well, my first
quite a
question was
bit.
gonna be:
Oh yeah.
you're a Canadian, right?
Yikes. I didn't know I had a gun.
fashion.
Everything went bad.
I talked about Canadian Halloween.
You did?
It's complex because the weather might be bad, but I feel like if you're growing up in the
Yeah.
say pumpkin. If you're
In
growing up in
Ohio,
the
it was
Midwest.
freezing.
Yeah, Lindsay probably
I had to wear
experienced a lot of the
sweats
same
under
stuff.
my Little Mermaid tail because it was cold.
Oh, yeah, it's not the Halloween you see in movies and on TV. However, I love the LA Halloween. I'm a little disappointed this year because I usually like to walk Benson and see everybody's costumes. Trick or treating, I think it's a really fun
The Halloween that you
experience.
see in movies and TVs is LA Halloween, so
Absolutely.
it's not really like that in a lot of other parts of the country.
I
where it's
was trying to
cold.
think of a scary, because you said think about scary experiences that have happened to you.
Yeah.
And I thought of something that happened to me recently.
Well, hold on,
It's
Elise.
not like
I think
Okay.
there's someone knocking at the door. That's right. It's one of our sponsors. These days, it feels like online shopping is the only shopping we really do. Well, it should be the only shopping you do, okay? But guess what? That's where our sponsor, Honey, comes in. It's a free browser extension, scours the internet for coupon codes, promo codes, and automatically tests them when you're checking out. That's right. Honey gonna save you money. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free. 2 clicks. 1, 2. Then, when you're checking out on one of their 30,000 supported sites, Honey's gonna pop up and say, hey, you want a coupon? You're gonna say, yes, I want a coupon. Then you just wait a few seconds. Honey's gonna go beep, 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 boop. If it finds any codes, it's gonna apply the best one to your cart. I was buying some fancy jeans. I got a discount. That's all I'm gonna say. You can't see the jeans. I only wear them in private. But I saved some money on them. Now, if you want to start saving money, you got to get that Honey. Listen, it's simple. You got a computer, you better have Honey on it. It's free and it works with every browser that exists. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/dude. That's joinhoney.com/dude. You better use joinhoney.com/dude so they know we sent you. Thanks, Honey, for supporting today's episode. Okay, don't worry, it wasn't a ghost. But something scary happened to you, Elise?
I want to hear.
it's not really worth the story, and I've told all of you guys about it, but it was just that I was like walking to my apartment and I was with Benson, and there was a strange man there and a car that was parked that had tinted windows, and the man was looking at me very strangely, and it made me uncomfortable kind of. Mm-hmm. And then another man started getting out of the car with tinted windows, and he had a face mask on, and he was like came at me really quick, and I was like, oh my god, this is it, this is when I die, when I get snatched. But it was Omar. It was just Omar. But I thought in that moment that I was going to get snatched.
Because you were
That is terrifying.
there was one creepy
He's all
guy,
tall.
and then the other creepy guy was Omar.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought
But
you
I
were being
didn't.
surrounded.
I didn't
That's
No, Omar had gotten a new car shortly before, I think, quarantine, and then also I have car blindness, and then I can't identify cars, and then also he had his mask on, and it had been months since I'd seen another human.
And
that
he
I
was
knew,
wearing that
so-
clown costume.
and he had the bloody clown costume on. But yeah, in that moment, you know, sometimes you have those moments where you're like, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is it for me. And I thought, oh my God, these men they are working together. They're going to abduct me. Run, Benson. Because I know Benson's not going to save me.
I
Go
think
get the police,
for me, the scariest things that I like, you know, I don't think ghosts or anything like that. I've never had any. I don't have any of those tales. The scariest things are for me of when either I did something, I bought something, or something happened that I don't remember, and I'm like, how did this happen?
Or like when you thought you
for-
ordered the Valve Index last week.
Oh my God, that was scary because that actually was scary. I was like, oh, what the heck? I didn't click purchase. I was like, I would have known that I clicked purchase on $1,000 or whatever. But thankfully, like I didn't, because it just put me on a waiting list. But I also didn't realize at the time that I clicked the order button. But yesterday I picked up, like, we have a bunch of new merch, and actually I think, Alanah, it might be the hoodie that you're wearing. Are you wearing the Funhaus hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that
So
that
I
was a specific question, but yes.
The blue one, the new blue one. Mm-hmm. So I picked it up off my like coat rack, and I was gonna put it on to go get the mail. But then underneath of it was another one. There were two of them. So I was like, what?
It's like an immediate deja vu.
And normally I only get one, right? So I'm looking at him and I'm trying to figure, and like that really broke my brain, and I was like panicking because it's like, did they send me 2? How did I get this other one? And then Cameron's like, oh, that's the one that Elise gave to us at the park. And I was like, oh.
Oh, thank God.
I'm stupid. I know, that was really scary.
It's like you create your own mysteries in your head that aren't that scary, and then they become
That
really
truly
terrifying.
is a
I think it's
Halloween
mostly
tale.
because you just, the scariest thing is like losing your memory and not remembering things. Is that not terrifying,
so
you
it's
guys?
more dementia and Alzheimer's.
Doesn't terrify me at all, but the idea of like that happening to my family members has always really scared me. But if it happens to me, I'm like, life is bliss. I don't need to know anything.
Well, sure, that's one thing, but it's scary if you can recognize sometimes that you forgot something.
Yeah.
That's
that
what's
is
terrifying about it.
Alzheimer's is legitimately like my greatest fear.
And I'm probably
like
gonna
Alana's
have it.
saying
Like
of,
it's
like
it's in my family, so
yeah,
it's terrifying.
happening to myself or someone I care about.
I can't
Like,
tell
is
you.
this happening already?
I can't tell you how many times I got to the office and then I went, "Oh my God, I forgot to put on deodorant."
I get there and I'm like, oh my God, how did I get here? Just blacked out the whole way.
I have those moments, especially if you're driving home from somewhere that you routinely drive from, and then you get home and you're like, "How did I do that?"
Yeah,
Like I
just even
I
remember.
don't remember any of that drive.
I have an issue playing Among Us sometimes. My short-term memory can be really bad, whereas my long-term memory is amazing. But I will sometimes be like, what color was that person that I saw murder the
Yeah.
body? Shit, I don't remember. And that happens to me like kind of often. Or I'll be like, what room? I don't remember. And they'll be like, how do you not remember? I'll be like, I just don't know.
There are too many
I
colors.
feel the same.
Yeah, too many colors. I agree.
So the scaredy cat stories I was thinking was any story for me. When I started thinking about it, I remembered when I was younger, right when we got a 64, I didn't star in, but I was an actor in this short film that this guy my family knew was making. He went to USC for film school, and I played this little kid. And at one point I was at his house and he had an old, I think it was a Commodore 64 or something, and he had original Castlevania on it. And I was playing it and I liked it. And then so at the end of the production, he bought me Castlevania 64 and he was like, "Here, since you like Castlevania, here's Castlevania 64," which in hindsight is a terrible, terrible game. But as a young child, that was some scary shit. And I remember when I stopped playing it was you go into this garden and this dude with a chainsaw and dogs start chasing you and you're running around. And I remember
That's too many things to
I
be
was like,
chasing you.
ha, ha, ha. And I think they were about to get me and I dove for my N64 and I turned it off and I was like,
Oh,
that's the end of that game.
Aww.
And I never
I
played
beat
it.
it. I won.
Aww. That's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pig
Scary.
Moss? I don't know what's happening here. I have like, so I don't believe in ghosts or anything, but there was this one story that I may have told you guys before.
Right
I just
on.
find really hard to explain.
Mhm.
We were outside in my dad's place in Cairns, which is a very warm city. It's like Florida humid in summer, and everything just went cold all of a sudden. And we just kind of ignored it. We're like, oh, weird gust. I don't know what's happening here. And then the dogs started barking. 2 dogs at seemingly nothing, but they were both barking in the same direction, which was of our garage. And then the sensor light went on. The dogs continued to bark, and we were
The
all
motion
like...
sensor?
Yeah,
Don't like
the motion
that.
sensor in the garage went on. Me, my dad, and my sister were all sitting there and unanimously were like, this is supernatural. This has to be a ghost. Like, we don't understand what's just happened. So, because my dad was like, he took like a pro-ghost stance, he was trying to calm the dogs down. He was trying to get the dogs to stop barking, so we were just trying to chill the dogs out. And so he was just like, shh, guys, shut up. And then the minute that one of the dogs, like, I think ran away or something, everything just went back to normal.
Like
Light
the
turns
heat
off,
blew
goes
in?
warm.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it just left. And like, we all remember that happening very distinctly. Like, I can picture how I felt in that moment and have absolutely no explanation for it whatsoever. Or like, there has to be one, and I recognize that, but it still like feels like the closest thing I have to a ghost story is things got cold, dogs felt something, motion sensor goes on, and then it all just goes away in the same second.
Wow.
Very strange.
Freaky.
so
Very spooky.
it's like Goosebumps or Dementors.
I get
could be the-
goosebumps when I'm chasing a fly.
What?
What?
Everyone had the same reaction.
When I got the magazine rolled up and I'm trying to hum down, I'll get the goosebumps.
That's the thing
Is that
with
a
living in
thing?
Australia is also there are so
think
many
'cause I'm
mosquitoes in summer sometimes
Scared of it
that
flying
before
into
you
my
get to go to
skin.
sleep, you have to like run around your room killing the mosquitoes that are on your ceiling. It feels like a dance, like a ritual.
Oh.
Like I'm just
You
like
get
killing
goosebumps?
all the mosquitoes. No goosebumps, Lindsay. That's a you problem. That's
don't just sleep with
that's
mosquitoes?
I
highly-
never said it was a problem. I feel exhilarated by it.
Y'all don't just have mosquito nets?
Sure, but I mean they just kind
Like
of.
malaria nets?
Are those
I mean, you would
malaria
have
nets?
those and coils and stuff outside, but generally they just kind of get inside because there's so fucking many of
Outside.
them. In
No,
humid
it's when
places.
it hangs over your bed.
Yeah.
You sleep
Alana,
inside
did you
of-
sleep under a
No, 'cause
malaria
it's
blanket?
Not, it's
Is that
not
a
bad
malaria
enough for
blanket?
that.
Oh.
My mom did have malaria.
I've been to
once, though.
multiple countries where
Really?
our beds we
Oh my
sleep in
God.
nets.
May have been dengue
Malaria
fever
is
rather than
scary.
malaria.
Malaria is
up.
fine.
But
Malaria.
either way, they're both
didn't
really bad.
Do shit to me. I was just bedridden for multiple days, and
Totally
all my
fine, not
joints
a problem.
ached.
Yeah,
I
love
kicked
that.
malaria's
Featured, not a bug.
ass.
The only other like I guess living in Cairns has I have a lot of sort of scary stories about that place because like when you think of Australia, you should really think of Cairns, and that like sometimes the beaches would close because there would be a crocodile on the beach.
Ooh.
Just like hanging out, being huge because they're massive. We would frequently have snakes in our front yard that could kill the dogs. You have these like tools that you have to pick them up with specifically, and then you put them in a bag, and then we give them
This
to the
thing?
zoo. It's
I'm
sort of
doing
like a
pinchy
prong
claws.
fork that you like scoop it up with, and then you have this other fork on the front to distract its face, and then you just put it in a bag. So my dad was like
on,
fearless
Googling
about it and did it
snake
so many
fork.
times. Yeah, we have wild boars.
Yep.
So there's just, constant fear, really. The worst spiders, just all of it. Pretty scary place to live. That
I
said,
don't know.
I've seen
San
more-
Diego had some pretty
spiders.
big waves on the weekends.
Yeah, yeah, spooky.
Something I think of with Australia, and it's weird that I have this association now, is haunted prisons, but it's only because I sought out so many haunted prison tours. Like it's not like I couldn't avoid them. I was looking for them. So now, and I did one. So now, and also Dracula's. I don't know if you ever went to Dracula's, Alanah, which was
yeah,
like,
I've actually never been, but I'd always wanted to go as a kid, but it's really expensive, so we never
it
went.
closed.
Did they?
Yeah, I guess it was this really long running dinner theater thing in Australia where like
I didn't know they closed.
no, it was kind of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show-esque
Yeah.
thing, but like James has this bracelet
I'm so sad
that says
I never went.
it was so weird, but it was great.
I'm a Dracula.
He has,
But like my family didn't have very much money when I was growing up, so like I remember for me to get a bike was like this dramatic event where like I was doing triathlons as a kid and I couldn't do the bike segment anymore or something because my bike was breaking. It was like this huge event where we had to save to get me a bike or whatever, and I was like, I just want to go to Dracula's, get rid of the bike. I don't care.
Lana, by the way, you have the
Never went.
chance to hijack a spider bot right now
Yes,
on screen.
Press Y.
I
Just
should probably do that, shouldn't I?
well, James has a bracelet that says I got sucked at Dracula's.
Oh,
That's the lasting memory we have
oh, nice.
of it.
Ooh.
So goodbye, R.I.P. Dracula's.
Y'all ever been to the
I
Magic
never had
Castle?
any like real.
Wait,
Ooh,
you
that
go.
spider is
What was the
cute.
question?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Lindsay?
Me? Oh, I was gonna say that I've never had any like those real scary haunting in person experiences, like I said earlier, and also I think it's partly because I avoid scary movies in general. But I mean, I feel like you guys are all maybe more into that than I am. What's the scariest movie you've ever
Is it
seen?
too tough? Scariest movie.
movie.
Look, I was really scared of Batman Begins when I was a kid. Just anything Batman really scared me, which I think is why I love Batman so much now.
Fair
is
enough.
I took a Batman
Begins.
approach of he was scared of bats and thus became Batman, and I was scared of Batman and thus became number one Batman fan.
Wait, Batman
If you were gonna-
Begins was from 2005.
Yeah, I wasn't that old in 2005.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I mean, I guess I would have been a
guess
teenager, but I
so.
remember finding it really, really creepy.
Yeah.
And then they were like the three Batman movies that terrified me was I think what was it? The one where Jim Carrey is the Riddler is Batman Forever?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So that was the first one I remember seeing that started the fear of Batman films because I was terrified of Jim Carrey's Riddler. So then it just stuck with me for way too long, basically.
I remember
he's got a lot of puzzles to solve.
I was creeped out by Batman Returns, but I think that's also like it was Tim Burton too, so it was a little bit macabre
Returns
in its
definitely
way.
got me as well.
For me, I don't think I've ever been scared by a movie, except that one time when I was like 4 and I watched Gremlins, and then I had recurring nightmares about Gremlins for the next 12 years of my life. But apart from that, I don't think I've ever really been scared by any movies.
Well, like, but there's movies that are genuinely scary and meant to be scary, like The Ring. But does that not scare you?
So yeah, The Ring was the
gross
first movie
shit?
that I was like super terrified of.
The Grudge, I hated that. Oh my god, I
The
hated
Grudge
that.
never bothered me, and I don't know why. But The Ring.
Okay, well, there was a hand that came out of the back of her head when she was in the shower.
Grudge,
That's
Grudge
true.
just established the like, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it. Triggering me.
Sorry, Lindsay. I saw this. There was a company recently that did a research company did a study of the scariest movie based on heart rate by 50. I think it was 50 participants watching these movies, and
It was Speed
their
Racer.
findings. Yeah, the heart rate was highest in everyone that watched Sinister, which is that Ethan Hawke movie. I don't know if you guys remember
I
it.
haven't seen it.
It's got some very scary imagery in it. Like when I saw it, I was like, this movie, it's like a good movie, it's fine, but the imagery will stay with you. It's like very creepy in that way.
It's the one
I've
with
always
the
thought,
projector films, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Download that.
That's what I don't need.
I mean,
I don't need to be sleeping
Watch
and
it
like
on a streaming service.
be like, think of that thing while I'm trying to sleep, you know, if it's in my head.
The moment in Hereditary where she's up on the wall.
Oh, it's sawing her own head off. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not
Spoilers.
pulling her own
Never
head off,
seen
just sitting on the wall. Terrified me when I first saw it, and you kind of see her run, and it gets a little bit silly. But I saw that in the theaters as well, and seeing that in the movie
See
theater,
that.
I love
So
that
good.
movie, Lindsay. It's such a good movie. But like, even outside of like, it's a scary horror movie. Like, it's such an interesting family drama that is actually more about the family drama and like
Yeah.
some of the tension in those scenes. Like, it's so
Like a
good.
family tragedy.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing that in the cinema in that part where she's up on the wall, you'd hear people gasp like one by one, which is actually really cool. Like people just seeing it and then being like, it's so good. But I was terrified for
Realize
ages
them.
of like seeing that.
That'd be scary. That would scare me just hearing the other people. Did you all watch Lovecraft Country?
I
Yeah.
haven't, but I feel like I should.
You should.
It wasn't a show that I could binge. Like I couldn't just watch episode after episode. And when that's not
No,
the
it came out
case, I usually
weekly.
forget to come back to it. So I've watched like 4 or 5 episodes, but I haven't finished
Okay, so I won't say specific, but at least you know the episode that I'm talking about with the girls.
That's great. I like that a lot.
I think about that at night.
Oh,
That
Lindsay,
is why I
why?
cannot
No.
watch because
Not that
because
thing.
I have anxiety. Because
Same, John.
I will like
Agreed.
it's just imagine anything. Just imagine anything that's kind of scary and like you just see it in your head when you're like, oh my god, that thing
Yeah.
that I watched. That's
Oh no!
and you scream out like that.
yeah.
And your upstairs neighbor goes, "Shut up!"
No, that definitely happens
scary.
to me sometimes. Like, I enjoy it though.
Yeah.
it now.
I like being.
I like a
I
good horror
being
movie, but I
scared.
get
wish I
very
could be
scared of
scared
horror
more
games.
easily.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm not
like being
saying
scared
that
as
as
well.
like a hip, like,
Tough
ooh, I'm a
guy.
cool tough guy. Like I genuinely, a lot of times in movies and stuff, I'm thinking of it as like cinematically. Like I don't get immersed
Yeah.
in horror movies as much as I do other genres of film. Like romantic comedies, I'm like, yes, please kiss me.
Yes,
Heath Ledger.
Look how detailed this is. This is crazy.
See, when I'm watching a scary movie, I'm like, yes, please, kiss me. And then I get freaked out.
I scared myself like in the way that Lindsay's describing in the middle of last night because I woke up around like 1 and I really had to pee, but you know it was cold and I didn't want to get out of bed.
Very chilly.
So I thought maybe I can just try to fall back asleep, but I do have to go to the bathroom. However, I opened up my phone and I thought I'll try to read some stories on Reddit or
Oh, no.
somewhere to try to fall asleep. And I see this headline that's like man found tiny woman living in his apartment.
What?
and I was like, okay, I have to get up and pee, because if I don't, I will start reading this, and then I will get too scared to get up and and do it.
Oh man, there was a Forensic Files episode that really. Sorry, I'll let you finish your story. That just made me jump onto something.
Oh, is it the same thing where it's like someone living in someone's?
Well, I can to tell it
home?
briefly. It just that really stood out to me as being the same thing, because it was a guy who was murdered and they couldn't figure out how or why, and it was because this very small man had climbed up through the roof and then down into his wardrobe, murdered him, and then climbed back out.
Why?
No one ever even knew he was there until they realized there was a crawl space that connected both of their wardrobes. It was just like, this tiny man just came and murdered this man and then left.
Oh no!
Was he a Jackie?
There's a new. Is
Huh?
it what?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, there's a new season of Unsolved Mysteries. That's all I was gonna say. For those who are into
yeah.
that, I'm into that. I've been watching that.
Elise,
This situation
how tiny
was
was
this guy
this
lived in
woman?
this. Well, she seems quite small, under 4 feet or 3 feet perhaps, but she was living in a crawl space in his apartment that was high up, and the police didn't notice any signs of forced entry, so it appeared as if she had maybe just snuck in when a window was open and then had found this crawl space and then ingratiated herself and was living in it.
Did they find a tiny ladder outside one of the windows?
Everything she had was small, was scaled down. But could you imagine just being in your house and then finding a person? I can't.
That's
No. This is also a story that I either originated from Reddit or there was just a Reddit thread about the story in the news, where this woman came home from work, was on the phone to her boyfriend as she walked in her apartment, and she sits on her bed and then accidentally drops something, goes to pick it up, and realizes that there is a man face down underneath her bed.
Oh
the
no.
wall. So she's walked in her
No.
apartment. She's noticed this man is just there waiting for her to get home or whatever. So she's like, I don't know what to do. Is still on the phone, pretends not to notice him, and then goes into the bathroom, turns the shower on, and breaks out of her own house through the window and calls the cops. They found him waiting outside of the shower with a knife.
holy shit.
Oh my god!
Right? So now anytime I enter my own apartment, I'm always like, okay, no, I'm fine. My bed's on the floor. Everything's okay.
Keep the knife. I still get out of the bed and I do a little dance with my feet, run into the bathroom because I'm like, no, you can't get me. I don't want him to get me.
I don't know why. It's not super connected, but I remember this story. I feel like everyone at some point in their life has stayed up way too late reading the Wikipedia entry for the history of serial killers or something.
I did that with McCamey
Has
Manor
everyone
real
done that
fast.
where you go, oh, here's a Wikipedia page that lists out all the
Yeah.
serial killers, and you just
Yeah.
read about them? Is that? I feel like that's something
100%.
everybody's done. Anybody?
It's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating. And there's certain ones that different people get fixated on.
Yeah.
I always thought John Wayne Gacy was just fascinating. And just so messed up.
Well, I just remember it was
But-
a 4.5 hour period one night when I was a sophomore. But the one that I've always remembered was it was a family that owned this bed and breakfast or something. And when travelers would come in, this was back in the day when everything wasn't super connected. So it would take you a week to travel by carriage or whatever from city to city. And so they had this remote bed and breakfast or hotel or whatever in the middle of this in the middle of nowhere. And so travelers would come. They're like, oh, I'm on my way to Tennessee. And they'd be like, oh, great. Yeah, you can stay with us. And we'll seat you at the head of the table, the honorary position. And the head of the table, that chair was against a curtain. And so, the daughters and the wife would be, entertaining the guy. And then the dad would be behind the curtain with an axe. And then, in the middle of dinner, he'd axe them. And I think they were just stealing shit.
my
that was how they were making money. They weren't,
my
doing
God.
anything weird. But they were serial killers in that they were doing that to travelers for a long, long time. That's just so nuts.
That's terrifying.
I
The entire
always
families doing stuff always gets me. And it is really interesting whenever you learn about if there are a couple where one of them is actually uninterested but just helps the other one abduct people.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
how did you become that? Like,
Yep.
what is wrong with you?
The most famous serial killers in Canadian history are exactly that: Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. And it's like they were super fucking twisted.
Wait,
because
hold on,
he was-
Elise. I know you said serial killers, but I have cereal deals. That's right. It's time for a word from our sponsors. You know, there's all those things we want to do for ourselves, but for some reason we haven't done them yet. How about you've always wanted straighter teeth and a better smile? Hey, stop putting it off, silly! Thanks to Candid, straightening your teeth is simpler, easier, and more comfortable than ever. Candid's got clear aligners that are comfortable, removable, and practically invisible. Unlike braces that make you look like a nerd. So guess what? You're gonna transform your smile without anybody noticing. They're gonna say, hey, that person looks cool and is definitely not a nerd. Guess what? Candid only works with orthodontists. Forget those general dentists like other companies. We're working with teeth doctors. Orthodontics, baby! Plus, your supervising orthodontist will be there every step of the way. Trust them. They know teeth. The average Candid treatment is just about 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then. That's right. Sooner than you can have a baby. And it costs thousands less than braces. And you won't look like a nerd. Start straightening your teeth today. Right now, all our listeners can save $75 on Candid Starter Kit. Go to candidco.com/dudesoup and use the code DUDESOUP. That's candidco.com/dudesoup. Code DUDESOUP. Take advantage of this limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. Are you kidding me? candidco.com/dudesoup. Enter the code, Dude Soup. What were you saying about something about breakfast cereal, Elise?
I'm sure the sponsors are gonna love that our lead-in is me talking about like grisly serial killers. Like,
It's
hang on.
Halloween!
It's Halloween.
Sure.
No, they were just
What were their
kind
names?
of, you know, Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka, and he I think is still serving, you know, back-to-back life sentences.
Oh, I thought you were going to say,
She-
he I think is still out there somewhere.
No, but she helped him like abduct and murder women, one of whom was her sister.
Oh my god.
That's
no.
fucking rude.
Yeah. And when I was growing up, like this was kind of, you know, this was sort of late 80s, early 90s. This was the big thing. So when I was a kid, this was kind of like the prevalent story. And, you know, growing up and being told to be safe in what you're doing. But I read a really kind of harrowing story about this older woman who was she went for a swim in her apartment's at her apartment's pool, and there was this weird guy in Toronto, and there was this weird guy that was like hanging around, and it was early in the morning, so not many people were out, and she was swimming and she was sort of watching him, but then a bunch of other people came out to swim, and she thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go. He's being weird. I'm gonna leave. And so she left, and then she happened to be a good artist, so she sketched down his appearance from memory. She thought, I'm just gonna draw this guy because he's being really weird.
Oh, no.
And then when they caught Paul Bernardo, she saw his picture on the news and like almost fainted because it was him that she had
Whoa.
sketched. Like,
Yikes.
but I mean,
Close calls are terrifying.
yeah, everything else is fine though in Canada.
Was it
No
Ryan?
other murderers ever.
Is it? I think it might have been Ryan, or maybe it was just someone random on the internet. But it was like, yeah, my aunt rejected. I can't even think. Who's that famous killer that would like be like, hey, you want to ride in my Volkswagen? Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Ted Bundy.
He's like, hey,
oh no, what?
my aunt
but
rejected
doesn't
Ted Bundy when he said, hey, you want to go on a date with me?
He more asks for help though. He'll be like, "Can you help me get something into my car or whatever?"
Oh.
Still similar thing though.
Yeah.
This
Do you think
conversation.
that?
Yeah?
Do you think the what?
This conversation
I was gonna
is
say maybe
scaring
that
you?
was. Do you think that Ryan's aunt drove Ted Bundy
Oh. Probably.
to?
Do you think?
I think there's something to unpack there for sure.
Yeah. I'm just.
No, I was just gonna say the conversation is like reminding me of this thing that I haven't thought about in almost a year since I was probably driving every day. But I often last year and previously would feel like I was being followed. I had that.
What?
It was paranoia.
Oh my god.
But I had that for a while, like last year. I would be like, this car's been following me for a while. And then I'd turn and then they wouldn't. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm stupid. But
I was following.
I hadn't thought about that.
And I didn't know what to do about it. It was pretty strange. It was, they followed me, and I realized that they were following me, so I, like, pulled into a random person's driveway, and then they passed, and I came back out, and then they were on the wrong side of the road to
Oh my
be
God.
next to me. Yeah, it was real weird, but I imagine that it was just, like, some teenagers having fun. It was, like, there was no actual threat, but when they pulled up, like, literally, I was on the left-hand side of the road, being Australia, keep left. They were on the right, so they pulled on the right, and someone could have turned in on them. And they were just sitting next to me in a van that I couldn't see through. I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
God.
But then they just went away.
I one time had that where I was hanging out at my friend's house. I was going to stay the night, but then these girls had told me about this thing called a Red Line, which is like, it's a concentrated energy drink, like in a little vial, and you drink it, and it's like super caffeinated. And I drank one of those, and I was sitting there laying in bed going, I'm not going to be able to sleep, so I'm just going to drive home. So as I was driving home, I started being like, there's a goddamn car behind me. There's a freaking car behind me. There's a goddamn car behind me. And I got all freaked out. And so I parked and I sprinted inside. And then I was in my bedroom looking out the blinds for like 5 minutes being like, where is that guy? And then I was like, wait a second. I've never done drugs before. This is probably the caffeine making me be all paranoid or something. And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. And then I was fine. So
And
it
then
was
you went to bed
don't
and now
do
you're a
drugs,
ghost.
kids. What? Oh, and you sat my window. But another thing.
I thought you were gonna be like, so I was following these girls in my car. And,
well, Alanah,
They freaked out.
you
And I don't know
made me
why.
think of are you saying it was like a big van that was
Yeah.
following you? Okay, well,
But I just based on the behavior, I dismissed it. Even though I was terrified at the time, I dismissed it as just being I was just being trolled.
I mean, I know in San
sometimes-
Diego,
Punk little kids do that, you know.
those punk little kids in that unmarked white van.
Yeah.
In San
They
Diego,
did have
there was this.
drivers.
That's all they could afford.
There was this event that was on the news in just near Grossmont Center, which anyone from San Diego will know where I'm talking about. The little road that goes by that skate shop. This woman was jogging, and a van door that she was running by a van, and the door opened up, and there was a dude driving, and there were two dudes in the back of the van, and one of them grabbed her by the wrist, and she broke the hold and sprinted away screaming, and they closed the door and drove away. So I don't even think she was being targeted. I think they were just sitting there in the van being like, all right, let's grab a lady. Like, it's fucking
God.
freaky.
There were people abducting kids from my high school by saying, there's someone abducting kids from the high school. Got to get in this car. We need to get you away from here. They're only a street
oh my
away.
god!
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they were like manipulating kids to think that there was a crisis when they were the actual crisis. Like, and I think 2 kids got abducted and they found them. So like, I don't know what happened, but it was a thing where they were like, don't get in cars with strangers under any circumstances, even if they lie to you. Or they'd be like, I'm a friend of your parents. They told me to come pick you up type shit. It's like,
Also, I literally just realized that instead of talking about spooky things, we're talking about actual horrific things now in this podcast.
We are.
Which I guess is the
Spooky anymore,
scariest thing
it's
of
just
all,
horror.
real life.
One of the bus drivers at my elementary schools hit a kid.
when I was
No.
like 13, maybe, I saw a bus driver masturbating.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the bus was parked at the bus station, and he was in the back, like the seat that would like lead to the back door, and he had a book in front of his dick, and he was just sitting there masturbating, looking at a bus stop full of children.
No.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it was like a very harrowing experience. So I told the cops, and then went home and just had to tell my parents, and was just like, really, because I don't even feel like I need to get into what detail.
All right, let's bring it back up. My bus
once
driver
made
used
out
to
with a
sell Reese
vampire.
cups.
Oh,
What?
that is
Yeah.
spooky.
He bit
What?
real hard.
Nice. Was it good? You like it?
No, I hated it.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to delve into that.
Regret
That
to
must be
this
very
day.
traumatic for you.
I still wake up with screams. Anyways, go ahead, Elise.
My bus driver, or not my bus driver, but the bus driver at the school that I went to did hit someone, but it was kind of the student's fault.
Did he deserve it?
She was crossing the street.
She
She was crossing the street and, ran across the street when there was no crosswalk or anything. And I truly think the bus driver wasn't at fault. And the bus driver stopped, but then this girl got up and just walked away. And I was walking home at the time, and I said, Justine, are you okay? Like, oh my God, like thinking, and she was like, she was shaky, but she's like, I'm fine. And then she just kept going. And I was like 11 or something. And I was like,
shock?
What? I probably had a shock. But if I was the bus driver, I'd be shitting bricks too.
Yeah.
But then I don't think anything ever came of it. Like, I think that Justine just got up and walked home, and the bus driver probably went home that night and went, holy fuck, I'm done for. But I don't think Justine ever reported it. Wow. And
oh my God.
The bus driver, I don't think anything ever happened.
I have a very different story, which I guess it's not even scary. It's just sad.
Okay.
I can't wait.
But in elementary school, a similar thing happened where these two girls, they were twins. They sprinted across the road where there wasn't a car walk or a crosswalk, and one car slowed down for her, but then the car behind them didn't see her. And you know how that happens sometimes. Someone slows down and you're like, this guy. So you get in the other lane and you pass him. That's what that person did, but they hit one of the girls, and they were twins. So the rest of elementary school, it was like always seeing that juxtaposition of like the one daughter that, was just like a kid, and then the other daughter that was like, just in a wheelchair. And,
hit by.
yeah, like she lost the ability to speak and everything like that. She was just.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
I am just sad.
I have another story.
Oh no! This is I'm gonna have to put like a trigger warning in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, this will depress you. Sorry about it.
Sorry, I read this story recently about these twins that I believe lived in the 70s or 80s, and they were called the silent twins because they became so isolated and insular and only spoke and interacted with each other. And then I don't remember all the details. I think they committed some light arson, and then ended up in an institution.
Look at Lindsay.
But
I'm just sitting here listening.
Oh, no.
they made this pact that if either was going to live a normal life, one of them had to die.
What?
So
which one's still alive?
I don't know. I don't remember all the details. You should just look it up.
These two kids just like created a cult by themselves, basically.
That's how they usually
of their own accord
happen. That's how it usually happens. Twins.
It's a little bit like the twins from The Prestige, spoiler, where one of them's like, "Go live for both of us now." Like they were just so into their duality that they said, we can't both live.
I freaking called that movie so early.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, genius.
No, they wouldn't show his assistant. They literally wouldn't show him. He was always off camera going, "Aye, laddie, yeah." And he's like, my assistant is locked in a coffin, and he freaks the fuck out and digs him up, and he's like, "Assistant, are you okay?" And off camera, he's like, "Aye, laddie, I'm okay." It's like, why aren't you showing the goddamn assistant?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel very passionately about this, and I respect it. But check out these cool masks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's Kitty Blink.
That's
I think I
cute.
might go this one.
Blink, blink.
I just want to apologize to y'all for dragging you into this. Really.
No, I think this is just kind of what happens when you put three women on a podcast, honestly. It's like, why do you think all the murder podcasts are hosted by women?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because we spend so much of our lives learning how to prevent our own murder.
And being afraid of it.
This is true. This is true. I'm like, do I need to walk with my keys between my fists? Because I'm
I
going to
always
scratch
do.
and fight a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I keep
I
a
was
knife in my
devastated
pocket
when they took my pepper spray off me when I went to Universal, but of course they did, because it's on my keychain, and they were like, "You can't bring pepper spray into a theme park. And I was like, but it's my security. And they were like, you can't do. And I was like, you're right. It does make sense. I was very upset. I was like, but what if I get attacked? They're like, yeah, oh, I took this woman's pants off accidentally and I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Oh, she doesn't have pants on now. I didn't mean to do this to you. Oh no.
Oh, man.
Oh, I ruined our honor. Anyway, yeah, it turns
Oh,
like
no.
you can't take no, it just doesn't suit you. What have I done to your style? Okay, I feel like this. She looks cool.
Why aren't you playing as the grandma? I feel like everyone on YouTube's gonna do that. They're gonna play as the grandma, and they're gonna go look at all
I
these
don't think
hijinks that grandma's playing.
Well,
I play as
spent
a
most of
grandma
this
in
time-
real life, so I wouldn't play as a grandma.
I spent
Is the
most of this
grandma
time
unlockable?
walking through the city. I think that I probably don't have the ability to hack grandmas yet.
We need our 1 million views, Alanah.
Yeah, I'll work on it. I'll do my best. Hey,
By
that's
the way,
rude.
just so y'all know, Twice's comeback was this week. Just, in K-pop, they call it a comeback, but you really shouldn't call it a comeback because it's just whenever they release another single. But the YouTube trending page is not an algorithm because Twice's new music video got like 22 million views in the first 15 hours and only got number 4 on trending, whereas stupid like CNN interview had like 1 million views and it was at the top. Stupid.
Ridiculous. That's bias is what that is. Are you upset?
No, I think it's
Do we need to talk to
money
YouTube about
money
this?
grubbers being like, hey YouTube, here's $1 billion. Why don't you put
I mean, it is
my-"
crazy how the talk shows really took over YouTube, but that happened so fast. And like it's just watching the platform change has always been also very spooky. Platform changes. What happens to our jobs? Ooh, spooky.
Where's our ad revenue? It's down.
Oh,
Carry your keys in your hand.
But like watching those, just those channels just get pushed so hard when they're like traditional media over native creators on the platform is a thing that just happens so fast. It's pretty nuts to watch.
Hold on, Elise.
sure.
Hold on, stop talking. We're gonna have to hear something from our sponsors real quick. HelloFresh, more like, hello, yeah, baby, this is delicious. What is HelloFresh? Well, guess what? It's America's #1 meal kit. They're delivering pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes right to your flippin' door. You don't want to be going to the grocery store these days. You want to be inside cooking up amazing meals that are easy, fun, and affordable. HelloFresh got gourmet recipes. That's right. I got a balsamic fig sirloin, and it was 60% cheaper than the average meal going out. I cooked it up. Ooh, it was so delicious, I said I didn't know figs and sirloin could taste so good. All these corporate grocery stores working with the man. Guess what? Over 90% of HelloFresh's ingredients are sourced directly from growers, ensuring that the freshest recipes are delivered to your door. Guess what? It's also sustainable. That's right. You know it. I know it. We bought groceries. They've gone bad before we use them. Then we gotta throw them out. That's a waste of food and a waste of money. Guess what? HelloFresh has only delivered you pre-portioned ingredients. So you're not gonna be overbuying. You're not gonna be burdening the planet with your careless waste, human. If you wanna eat good, you're gonna wanna say, HelloFresh, nice to meet you. And go to HelloFresh.com/dude80 and use code dude80 to get a total of $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. That's right, free shipping. That's right, go to HelloFresh.com/dude80, use that code dude80 and get $80 off across 5 boxes, free shipping. All right, we're back. What were you
deserve that.
saying, Elise?
Conan O'Brien's
Sorry, wait,
studio
hold
at
on.
the
Alanah
Largo
needed
got...
to finish her thought. What did you say, Alanah?
Okay.
Sorry, I was just asking Elise what she was saying.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
My man Conan
Elise, what were you gonna say?
O'Brien. Robbery at the studio.
Sorry, I think you
Largo.
just cut Lindsay off.
He got robbed?
Excuse me, Lindsay.
Sorry.
Yeah, like he's been making his show out of the Largo theater, just smaller theater in LA, and they got robbed. Like someone broke in and stole a bunch of the production laptops, and they stole their slate
What?
too.
Wow.
And
Hold on.
Conan made a video
Going
and
on
was like,
eBay.
"This is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen." Oh, John, you robbed them?
No, I'm
We
gonna...
got robbed at IGN.
Oh my God, Conan O'Brien's
once.
slate, $1 billion. Elise, can I
Nice,
have
John.
a
On
Nice.
run?
Good
eBay?
luck, John. Yeah, we got robbed at IGN once, and we couldn't figure out how they got in. They just stole some laptops. I think mine got stolen actually. But we couldn't figure out how they got into the building because we had security cameras everywhere and it never showed them entering at any point, which was obviously very confusing. So we deduced that what had happened was that they must have at some point during the day waited for someone else to use the fire escape to enter or exit the building, and then went up to the roof and waited there the whole time to then come back down.
Like a tiny woman.
Like a tiny woman. Because we never saw anything happen.
Did you check any of the wardrobes in the office?
Didn't think to do that. I can recruit someone. Let me find an old lady.
That is so scary. I mean, last year when the somebody broke into the cow shop warehouse. That was nobody was there, nobody got hurt, and like they didn't steal anything of value. But it's just such a violation, and it's terrifying because it's unknown. It's like you don't know who they are. They know who you are. They've seen stuff about you, but you don't know what they want or what their motive is. It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. People backed up a box truck into the.
I know, that footage was so crazy of them driving the truck into the door. It's like, what?
Fucking terrifying.
I mean, that's one way to break in. I had this friend who was
Don't break in.
who was a manager at this company, and I think it was a production rental place. But he was a manager, and one time his boss told him, like, oh yeah, all these cameras are fake. Like, they just have little red LED lights in them. And he's like, oh, that's funny. And then months later, he like nonchalantly mentioned that to one of his employees, like one of the people below him. And then literally the next day he came in and the entire place had been robbed. And that guy and the guy he mentioned it to never came back.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And so my friend didn't admit that he had told that guy about it.
Why would you ever tell anyone that? Ever?
Well, I think they figured it
idea.
out because that guy never came back. He didn't show up to work. So they're like, okay, well.
Wouldn't they have had all his details, though?
He disappeared.
Spooky.
Oh, God, I'm terrified. Tell you what.
Yeah, I'm glad we got Lindsay's blood pressure up over this last hour.
You know what? I like pumpkin pie. And I like cinnamon rolls. What else is in fall?
Is
I
there
bought a bunch of
anywhere in
candles,
LA
y'all.
where the leaves change?
And I love a burnt orange, yellow, and a red. What?
My question was, is there anywhere in LA where the leaves change?
Yeah,
'cause
that
that's not
one
something in
tree.
Australia.
That one tree
Some
on
trees.
Universal Boulevard.
Okay.
There's
noted.
one
That
tree
one
and it
tree.
changes color.
There you go.
There's some
It's like I
trees.
remember when we were in Vancouver a few years ago. It was late September, I think, and all the trees were like red and orange, and it was so pretty. Just kept walking
If you
around
go,
in
like-
the trees.
You can go like a little outside, like if you go to Lake Arrowhead or Big Bear
Go
or
yeah.
like Tahoe.
Raise the
I guess.
altitude.
I'm thinking about doing something like that for Christmas. Just get myself a nice cabin in the snow somewhere. Maybe.
I was thinking of doing that.
Yeah.
Last year
That
I
sounds
went
great.
to
Well, I was thinking it
Portland-
first, John. So
Last year I went to Portland for the Retro Game Con, and it was the nicest weather. Like, I was like, I need to move here because it was
Portland's
just
rules.
rain and leaves and cold, and I loved it.
That is
Let's-
weather that you like?
What?
What?
That's weather. You like that kind of weather?
Yeah,
I'm a big
dude.
fan of the sun.
I like, it's
Oh.
like, oh, it's cold. I got to put on 6 layers. That's my favorite kind of weather.
My thing
I
about
only like it
Portland-
for like a couple of days, and then I gotta come back to the normal
Every day.
weather.
Yeah, same. I like it when it's cozy for like 2 days, and then I'm angry at it.
Every
I
day
say
I'm
we gotta-
shivering.
We got to Kim Kardashian it up, charter the private jet, while quarantine, and we're all gonna take it to Big Bear.
Great.
You don't need a jet to get there because it's like 2 hours, but we will
Just tow
take
a
it
car.
because
We have that
somebody
kind of money.
is gonna pay for it.
All right, Lindsay, it's on you. All right.
I have one last
I
question.
just bought a new Switch. I can't even
Big
use.
money watch fun. All
'Cause
right.
we did start the podcast a little late because John Reisinger doesn't know how to wrap it up. So we have a few more minutes here. I just wanted to let y'all know that I did buy some candles from Bath and Body Works.
Tell me the sense.
Oh, yeah, what'd you get?
I actually splurged a little bit. I bought
Ooh,
3
hell
candles.
yeah.
It's pretty penny right there, but they are going to last me the next year.
Did you use
probably.
coupons?
You just throw my spice
What?
out?
Use discounts?
They have
Oh my
coupons?
god! You bought them before. They send them every month. You get new coupons for like 10% off this candle,
shitting me?
20% off.
Okay, well,
Anyways,
I
tell me
paid
the
full
sense. We can
price.
Talk about it later.
for an orange ginger candle,
Okay.
a black chamomile candle,
Oh, okay.
and
That
the
sounds nice to me.
eucalyptus tea. You know, now I know orange ginger. You say what? But here's the thing.
Yeah, that one.
I have I'm subscribed to this. Well,
It sounds good.
I guess maybe I can't mention it because this is a sponsored podcast. But there's a service I use where they send treats, and one of the treats I got was this little pastry
Well,
that was like a
what-
ginger cake with orange in it. And when I opened it, I went, and my butt floated out of my chair, and I did that cartoon thing where I'm floating off the ground,
Yeah.
smelling it. And so I said, I want this. And I literally looked up orange ginger candle, and it was there. So I said, all right,
Wow,
I'm getting
it
it.
That's
exists.
totally something that would be like on a great British Bake Off, like an orange citrus. Today, Becky's making an orange citrus lemon cake. You know,
A sponge.
Yeah, I'd eat that.
something
Never,
like that.
never heard of it.
Yeah. Oh,
A nice sponge.
a nice sponge cake.
Chamomile tea and what was the other candle?
I've actually never seen that show. I really know I
Eucalyptus
should. Is it
tea.
on Netflix?
Black.
Yeah.
Alana, we
I-
already talked about it, and yes, you need to watch it.
Okay.
You need to
Stick
watch
to
it
the
as soon as
Mary Berry
possible.
seasons, though.
They're all good.
Okay.
They're all good, though. They're all
The,
Seeing Mary Berry eat things close up is one of the most horrific experiences you'll have in your life.
but I did want to ask
curious.
y'all, do y'all have any scent recommendations? Because I have only in the past few months have gotten into any scent related things because I never thought about it.
We got these candles from Rockstar when Red Dead 2 came out. They sent a bunch of them to the office, and it's like a barrel, and it's supposed to be I think
Whiskey?
they called the scent like gunpowder. It's completely black. No, it just smells like
A
what a
fire?
barn would smell like.
Oh,
It's
maybe
a
like
smell that's like
campfire
got, like-
type of smell. Like,
Yeah, like it's
Oh, I
like
remember
earthy.
those.
sort of like hay and fire and just very earthy and woody, and I love it because I feel like a lot of candles smell awful. They like go way too far over the top. If
Way
I'm
too
picking
sweet.
candles, it takes me a long time.
Yeah.
So as soon
They
as I
go way-
found that one, I was like, more like that.
I
Like-
have two scents to recommend that are earthy and a little bit sweet, so it's not overpowering. And one is the White Teen Sage. It's very kind of natural. They have it at Bath and Body Works. And the other one is a light vanilla sandalwood. Oh,
Because vanilla
vanilla
can be bad, but
patchouli if
vanilla
you're getting a
sandalwood
little
would
bit.
be-
Can't go wrong with
yeah.
vanilla.
You
I
gotta
always
mix
like,
vanilla with the earthy.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Elise.
I-
Lindsay's talking right now.
No, I want to know what Elise likes now.
I was just saying you can't go wrong with vanilla. Fresh scents in the summer. That beachy scents or
Oh, yeah, that's
a
great.
ocean breeze.
Ocean
Though a
is
friend
my
of
personal
mine,
favorite.
a friend recently sent me some Lord of the Rings candles, and I don't know if she picked them out or this is just the set that they send, but they're not licensed, so it's like the candles are called like the Bearded Tree and the Ranger, and it wasn't second breakfast, it was like double breakfast. So
Couldn't even
like
get away with second breakfast.
no,
Is it
like
$3?
double breakfast smells like if you had a cupcake candle or a cake candle.
With a sausage.
But I like all the candles because they're all like you're describing, Lindsay. Like they're all very earthy, which I
Yeah.
think works with Lord of the Rings. Like they're not too sweet. They don't smell like fruit or anything.
They're
or
not
flowers.
making the sunscreen for, Frodo.
Yeah, they're all very
Fro-
nice. So I can send you this
Frodo.
link to the Lord of the Rings candles if you want something themed as well.
There you go.
I'm into that. Love a good candle.
But I'm sorry, Alanah was talking.
Yeah, so I was talking about how I like Ocean Breeze as my go-to candle scent. But lately I've actually been using, because the fires just makes asthma bad, a humidifier with like essential oils in it.
Oh, there you go.
And I have a bunch of them that I just swap between because it makes my whole apartment smell nice, but also
Prevents you from
you
dying.
you get the health benefits. So I've been using eucalyptus lately.
Oh yeah.
And I also, like, just as an aside, like, we're talking about this kind of thing. I stopped using, like, store-bought soaps because they have so much just, like, junk in them that are not good for your skin. And I now use just, like, an organic tea tree soap. And it just feels
That's what I
so
use.
nice. I really
Really?
like it. Big fan of, like, swapping out from, like, the stuff that just has all, like, the trash chemicals in it to something that's more organic. It's
Send me
Yeah.
some links.
Pleasant.
I have a lot of
Very
skin
pleasant.
issues since I started my medication.
I use the Soapworks tea tree soap, and it like clears up my skin so well. And And I feel like what you're saying, Alanah, a lot of those store-bought soaps too, they're like bad for your skin's pH.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of shit in them.
Bunch of trash.
Hold on, Elise. Sorry, Elise, I'm going to have to cut you off there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today.
But we do cut Elise off a lot, and I would like to apologize. I'm sorry, Elise.
No, you guys
I
don't.
literally
It's
waited
just
until
John.
she was clearly done with her thought before I did that.
I'm just so excited to participate in whatever Elise is talking about that I'm just like, yeah.
The problem is that Elise is too interesting. That is exactly. It's
Am
not
I?
our fault.
I don't know if that's. I don't know that that's. Thank
Tell
you.
us
but I
more
don't know.
about the murders in
Let me tell you
Canada.
about these candles some more.
All right, y'all.
Now we've
Well,
cut
thanks
John
so much
off,
for
who was
hanging
trying
out.
to do the
I
job.
know
Sorry, apologies.
this was a very took kind of a roller coaster of a podcast. It went kind of very down low, maybe
Little bit,
underwater,
yeah.
and then we came back up for some candle talk. So
This is what I would listen to.
yeah, just want something for everybody. So thanks for joining us, everyone at home and on live R2TV right now. And thank
Appreciate
you to
y'all.
my guests for joining me in the day that I host. It is on a cycle, but today is my time of the month. All right, y'all.
Thank you, John.
See you later, everybody. Bye.